Thank you for joining us for this episode of Who Does She Think She Is? Audacious financial journeys with tremendous Black women. I'm Mele Miller, 30-year bank exec that you wish has always been your friend. Who does she think she is? Today, I am beyond excited to share with you a guest I wish I knew about 13 years ago. That's how long she's been in the industry. She is a culinary master that brings together art, culture, purpose, and a delicious bite. Her name is Shenarri Freeman, and she's here with me to have a conversation that I've been waiting a very long time for. Thank you for being here with me today.
Thank you. Thank you for that warm introduction as well.
Do you like that?
Yeah, it's a little tearjerker.
Was it? Oh, 13 years.
Yes.
That's a path.
It is.
That's my oldest kid's lifetime right there. 13 years ago, I was a hot mess. So I am so appreciative if you talked more, you shared more with us about your journey to get to where you are now.
Ooh, okay. So where to start? Roughly 13 years ago, I was a student at Howard University in Washington, D.C., if anyone's heard of that. So I was a student there, and I was actually in a pre-physical therapy program for undergrad, I know. But stay with me. It's all going to come full circle.
I'm here, but I'm going to lean in and have a little sip of this wine here. Go ahead.
So again, I was like a pre-med undergrad student studying medicine, but I also had an interest for culinary. I had an interest for art, culture, and music. So I found myself working at a concert venue, actually, because I couldn't get another job that I wanted within the venue, which was doing PR, marketing, sports team, but they had a kitchen position available. So I figured, okay, let me just work here, get my foot in the door. At least I'll get free food and free concert tickets.
Why is that always the mission in college? Can I just be fed?
I mean, because we're all struggling and we're all hungry.
Yes, so. Agreed.
So I was working at this concert venue, working in the kitchen, and it was my first introduction into vegan food. Never heard of it before. I'm from Richmond, Virginia. So, I ended up working there for 4 years, and my interest for music continued to grow, but food seemed more in alignment to what I was studying at school, which was pretty much the human body. I'm studying anatomy, I'm studying biology. I have all these science classes learning about the body. Originally, I think I was taking a more physical approach, like how does the body work, what muscles do what, and, how do you cure things? And it transitioned into a personal, holistic journey, which is the short version of how I ended up cooking vegan and plant-based foods.
Okay, see, I would have never guessed physical therapy to music to concert, restaurant, back office, culinary master.
Yes.
30 under 30.
Yes.
You just opened your second restaurant. Okay, I saw a picture of one of your beverages, a cocktail, and it immediately made me want to drink. It looked so incredibly refreshing. The meal, the plating, the drink, it was a work of art.
Thank you. Every
product that you put out, every meal, every drink, even the restaurant design has a piece of you. Yes. And I really want to understand what piece of you exists in all of these spaces, every dish that you put out.
Purpose. Everything that I do serves a purpose. I did do the interior design for the LA restaurant, but also the New York one. And I thought it was really important for people to come in there and feel at ease. It's a stereotyped cuisine, right? So people already kind of come into the restaurants like, I don't like vegan food, or I don't want fake meat, or I don't know, all types of things that people think. So I think coming into those spaces, it's important to feel comfort and at ease. Even before you even get to the food, there's already a visual experience translating through the body. So I wanted to make sure that was intentional. And then when it comes to the food, again, the eyes eat first. I'm a very visual person. I didn't go to culinary school for nothing. So It's important that people understand the purpose of the ingredients that I'm using, the textures that I'm implementing, the flavor palettes that I'm trying to cross. All of those things are intentional. Microgreens on a very simple dish and think, oh, okay, it's just a little pop of greenery on there. Yes, that's true, but those greens have flavor. It might have a little spice in there that adds another flavor component to your dish. So we're not just throwing things together.
Right. I love that you said the eyes eat first. I want that to be a t-shirt
Yes.
Because you're absolutely right. That's half of bias. That's a huge element of any experience.
Yeah. I guess like the main layer in terms of categorizing the food that I make, I do focus vegan, plant forward, vegetables. And then after that, I would say I focus on food of the diaspora. So I'm cooking a lot of soul food. I'm cooking a little bit of Caribbean. I'm cooking a little bit of West African, but I tend to focus in those areas because a lot of times I think that food within those cultures and cuisines is not very vegetable forward, at least for people.
No, you said it. You said, don't take it back. You said it. Your middle name or your nickname is Greens.
Yes.
And that can be read a number of ways.
Yes.
Vegan or this girl hooks up with the green. You know what I mean? Like this is your jam.
All of that, which is also intentional.
I love it. I love the intentionality because I didn't necessarily pick up on all of it. And I think that's the brilliance behind it. So you must know how audacious this is. Vegan.
Yes.
Soul food.
Yep.
Greens 10 different ways. A restaurant in one coast, East Coast and West Coast, 13 years. There are folks who've been doing this for 50 years and have not experienced the level of success and accolades that you have. I am going to ask, was there a time where someone in the industry or in your circle questioned your ability as a Black woman? Who does she think she is?
Not to my face. I'll put it like that. I've been blessed and fortunate enough to not really have to experience that within my career. I'm a person that if it doesn't feel right, I'm out. Like there's no amount of commas on a paycheck that will make me stay if I just don't feel comfortable within a job or any type of environment. So I'm quick to leave if I don't like it. I don't have time for it. You know, I have a vision, I have a goal, and I only want people around me that's going to help support that and help get me to the next level. And I know I can contribute to their goals and dreams as well. I'm sure there's talk behind my back, but that doesn't get to me.
What are some of the misconceptions about being a Black woman excelling in this space, in this industry?
Ooh, misconceptions. Black women in the culinary space, we probably get the least amount of opportunities. We are the least paid. Within the U.S., the percentage is under 10 for how many Black women are actually leading kitchens, which is interesting considering the history of food and Black women within the culture. It's almost reverse, which is very interesting. So it's at times it feels like we aren't contributing to our industry, but in reality, we built this industry. So it's interesting to see how we're kind of placed on the pedestal at this point. Like, I don't know how that happened. Well, I do know, but that's another story for another day. I would also say that we're still getting a lot of first, like, oh, first woman to win a Michelin, or like first woman chef to do this. And then, you know, you add that layer of a Black woman or a young Black woman, you're really kind of breaking down a lot of these stereotypes and barriers, but there are quite a few.
Yeah, there are quite a few.
Yeah.
What are some of the ways that you are kicking doors down for other women of color, for other Black women who perhaps do not have the support that you had?
One of the main things that I make sure to do along this journey is share information. I share resources. You know, I have a huge community of Black chefs, especially Black women. My main crew is actually a group of 10 Black women chefs. We all cook different cuisines. We all travel together.
Ooh, I know those parties are good.
Yeah, they're great, you know, and it became something bigger than just a group of friends. We travel together, we cook together, we support each other, we do events in other cities, sometimes other countries. So building that community and having it be so, I guess, visual to the public. I didn't realize how many other chefs or people in other states didn't have like a support group. So when people kind of see us and how we operate within the culinary space, people get inspired. So that is one of the things. But I would also say present other opportunities to women, whether it's doing events, press, PR, all sorts of things. And to be honest, I'm not able to do all of them. So if someone is asking me to do something in New York, I can't do it. I know 10 other girls that can do it, that look just like me and have a similar skill set, if not better. And I want to highlight them and give them that opportunity. So I do that a lot. I don't want anything in return except for this other Black woman to succeed and get that exposure.
Oh, we're sitting too far away for me to hug you, but I'm going to squeeze your hand and do it in a weird way. But what I want to exude is thank you. Thank you for that. What I'm hearing you say is that you have a back pocket brown girl list.
Oh, yeah.
And yes, I just made that up. But you know what? All like true leaders in a space where we're often the only. There's not that many ways to make sure we're no longer the only.
Yeah.
And that strategy right there is my favorite. We build our brands and our reputations together. Who we affiliate with matters. And your success can certainly be shared. We don't have to opportunity hoard. And
no, not at all.
Hearing you share exactly the opposite of that, it feels really good, and I'm grateful. We need more of you.
Yes.
Or all of those of you and me that are out there. We need everyone to share in that success and that exposure. Your gift, your talent is the real treasure. And yet the world spends a lot of money talking about financial success and affluence and wealth as the end game. And I don't hear that in any of the language that you're sharing. And so I'm not trying to impose it on you. I do want to talk about money.
Okay.
Do I have your permission? Okay.
Let's try.
I don't mean to scare you, but money is a topic that everyone approaches in a different way. What was the most difficult or biggest life lesson that your relationship with money has taught you?
You know, I've been down bad with money.
Wait, was this before or after college years?
Ooh, college was really bad. I
feel like we all struggled in college.
I feel like it's almost mandatory that you struggle with money through college so that you can become a better adult.
Better human. On a different day, we're going to talk about what culinary masterpieces you created with Top Ramen or peanut butter and
quite
soda
a
crackers.
few, you know? One of the biggest lessons I learned, I would say within the past like 5-6 years, I was granted this one opportunity. It was the first time in my culinary career that I had seen that many like commas and zeros like coming to me at once. And instead of being smart, I blew that check so quick. I think it was gone within a week. It was gone quick.
Now, how old were you? I'm just curious. Judgment-free zone.
I'm 31 right now. I think this is maybe 25, 26, maybe 27. It wasn't that long ago. I still remember it.
So in 1 week, you blew it all.
I blew it. I was done with culinary school at that point. So I felt like I need to treat myself. But I really went overboard. I just spent it on like clothes, shoes, stuff around the apartment. And then I looked around. I'm like, oh, I don't have no money. Like, where did all my money go?
Yeah.
You know, it went so quick.
You know you're not alone, right?
Oh, I know.
Okay.
I know it's very common, especially within like our community. I know people can blow money fast, especially when you spend a long time struggling.
Right. Well, I think you hit it on the nail. When you have been without for so long, you get this injection of what you've been hanging out and waiting for. It feels really good.
It does.
13 years ago, or when you were 25, I probably would have shared with you similar advice and also given you some strategies on how to reward yourself with that payout because you are deserving. But the type of guidance that I normally share is that when you get that big check, number one, if you're the sole decision maker for financial choices in your household or in your group, then it is on you. If you are not and there are other decision makers or other advisors, to pause and make sure that they're a part of the conversation.
Right.
And then I would also say, carving out a piece of it to enjoy based on things you've already thought about and gotten excited about. Rewarding all versions of you, past, present, and future.
Yeah.
Being kind and loving to all versions of you. Executive chef.
Yeah,
I
needed that.
Personal you is critical. That's the type of love and honor and respect and celebration that you can experience for more than just a week.
Yeah.
You know, the present would be carving out a little something.
Yeah.
The past would be look back at some of that debt.
Yeah.
Or some things that are looming over you, because that feels heavy.
It does.
Right? And so being kind to your past is getting rid of part of that burden. And then future you might want a little something special. And if you don't save anything for future you is going to be angry.
A little rainy day.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was angry quick.
You see that strawberry just like hit the lap? We explored sort of that painful lesson. Talk about a financial accomplishment that you are most proud of.
Ooh.
I'm going in on the strawberry, but please continue.
One of my biggest financial accomplishments was taking myself to Africa for a full month, taking that month off and being comfortable with my money. Not having to check the bank account every time I made a transaction.
She said, and be comfortable. Could we just pause here, please? That gave me goosebumps. I know I'm corny, but like, I'm a financial professional. So you saying being comfortable with my money, it's huge.
I just went on vacation for a whole month. And I
that's a very long time.
That is a long time. That's a long time.
I'm smiling so big because a month sounds delicious. That sounds fantastic.
It was great. It was great.
Oh my goodness. How has your identity as a Black woman impacted your earnings potential? You mentioned industry-wide, it has a pretty heavy impact. It's not a stereotype, it's a truth. What is your truth in that space?
Very underpaid. Very underpaid. I think money within the culinary space is something that I still struggle with, unfortunately. And I think that, again, it's important to have these conversations because people will probably look at my resume and assume that I'm sitting on mountains of cash, and I'm not. I'm still underpaid. I'm still struggling. Like, I'm still talking about these things openly amongst my peers, amongst other Black women chefs, amongst Black men chefs, white men chefs in every culture, because I want to know, how much are you getting paid?
Now, I have to just interrupt you there, and I apologize. I do that a lot. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But asking how someone else gets paid or how much someone else gets paid.
It's
that's an audacious, that is an audacious, tremendous Black woman question.
Who do I think I am?
Hey, how do people react when you ask?
You start to see them like fidget a little or stuttering or a little sweat coming down the forehead. Yeah. But a lot of people are open. And the people that aren't open about it, it just kind of confirms what I already thought. Like, oh, you're getting paid a lot more money because of XYZ. I'm being offered less money because of XYZ.
Yeah.
But I also ask my mentors, like people that have been cooking in this industry for quite some time. So they kind of give it to me straight. I remember this one time, like I got an opportunity, maybe the first year my New York restaurant was open, Cadence. I got an opportunity to cook for the Phoenix Suns. This is probably one of my first times having like a client that big.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to charge. I think they wanted like lunch or dinner or something. I was like, oh, okay, I'll just charge like a flat rate of $2,000.
Oh, okay.
And my friend...
For a person?
No. Total. Exactly. See, I didn't know.
No,
I did not know. And my friend, she's a private chef. She cooks for like a lot of celebrities and does things like that. She got me all the way together. She said, first off, do not sell yourself short. They are coming to you for a reason, first and foremost, meaning that they're willing to pay. They're willing to, do whatever it takes because they are scouting you.
Yeah.
So they want your food. So you need to charge your price. That's just an example of, having that community of people to kind of call on like, hey,
yes,
how much would you charge? Because I almost undercharge.
Absolutely. Money is a tool for exchange. And what they are exchanging cash for was the culinary experience that you were delivering. And yes, there are ingredients and supplies and hours of effort. And then there is also talent.
Yeah.
You know, I am proud of that moment for you. I think that was a really big deal. And curious to know how you incorporate what you've learned throughout your career into the way that you manage the financial systems and infrastructure of your two highly successful restaurants. That is no small feat.
Yes, restaurants are really hard. So anyone out there that has a successful restaurant, congrats, because it's really hard, especially now dealing with things post-COVID. You know, traffic has definitely slowed down. Less people are eating out. We are dealing with some of the craziest inflation that I've seen during my lifetime. And I think people forget it doesn't just stop at the grocery store. It carries over to our restaurants. So, you know, we have to be very mindful of the ingredients that we're using, our target audience and clientele, you know, what they're willing to spend or how much the average check is, things of that nature, what we're paying our employees, cost of goods. There's a lot of different numbers that you deal with in the restaurant. So it's very important to be, again, intentional. You cannot...
Ooh, intentional.
That's my word for the year, intentional.
Well, you've said it like 5 or 6 times in a very meaningful way. And so I believe you.
Working in restaurants, both back of house, front of house, I've done administration assistant in the restaurant. I've opened restaurants as a chef, not as a chef. I've done payroll manager. So I have a pretty good idea of how to operate a restaurant, and I understand how to create a menu that speaks to our audience and is in a good price range, if that makes sense.
I like what I'm hearing you say. This is speaking to the finance professional in me. I'm hearing you talk about a well-crafted, budgeted, plated meal. There's the financial implications of cost of goods and groceries. There's the way that you build your organization model, servers, hosts,
line cooks.
See, this is not my space. Line cooks. And to be clear, a restaurant is still a business. So you still have an attorney, an accountant, a CPA, the less sexy stuff. Sorry to my financial brethren, but it's not cool.
Yeah.
All these things. So step outside of yourself for a moment.
Okay.
And you enter one of your restaurants, you order a dish, you're sitting down, and you lean forward and you begin the experience. How would you talk about that dish like you were a food critic? Put on your food critic hat. Let's hear it.
The pressure. I'm such a foodie person, even outside of my job. I love going to restaurants and having an experience. Whatever experience you're offering, I'm here to receive. So I would say, you know, my experience kind of starts at the door. You know, how am I greeted? Am I greeted? How long is it going to take me to get to my table? If the table's not ready, can I hang out at the bar? Can I have a drink? I'm thinking about all of those things. Customer experience, which typically is a great thing unless someone is just having a bad day. So I think about that as well. And then the meal is actually the last thing that I'm thinking about, because it's almost like the final part of the experience. So if I'm coming into my restaurant and sitting down for the first time and I'm having we have this dish called a jollof arancini, which is a fried traditional West African jollof rice. We make a sweet mint tremola sauce with it. The closest thing I would compare jollof rice to is probably jambalaya.
Ooh, okay.
That's our number one dish. So if I was a customer, I would definitely come in, sit down, order that. We go over our jollof rice with a layer of curry, and we also add in a little bit of coconut milk. So Caribbean flavor in there, but I will also get a lot of West African flavor and then a little bit of Italian technique, which is the arancini. And the sauce is a Northern African sauce. So for me, I would be having like a global food experience within one dish, and pairing that with cocktails where we...
Thank you for going there. I was waiting.
All of our cocktails, we fresh press the juice every single day. So from the food that we're plating to the drinks that we're making, like you're going to notice like that difference in freshly prepped ingredients versus something that may have been sitting around for a while or store-bought, things like that. And then the ambiance in our restaurant, from the decor to the music, it really kind of like ties it all in. You know, you sit down, you start doing that little food dance.
Yeah.
You know, when the food is good. That's the type of experience I would have. And, you know, you might see some celebrities in there. We've had some big ones.
Who's your...
The biggest?
Yeah. Or, well, just the one that you like to brag about the most. Go ahead, brag.
For LA, Stevie Wonder.
Oh, my goodness. Good brag.
I know. And he's funny. Let me tell you that. He's actually funny. I have two for New York. One is personal. The other is, personally for New York, Solange. And she told me I was cute, so shout out to her. And then Venus and Serena. They, after Serena's last U.S. Open, I think 2 years ago, her sister, and the whole family came by.
Stop.
Yeah. I think those pretty big.
Who would be your dream guest?
My dream guest?
Yes. Who would you love to host in your restaurant?
Honestly, I have seen, hosted, cook with most of the people that I've wanted to throughout my career. There's only 2 people left.
Well, please, right here. Put it out there into the universe and see what happens.
There's 2 left. One is Khalees.
Yes.
I really admire her culinary journey. She's also in one of my favorite areas in California, which is Temecula. So I would love to host her for dinner or go cook on her farm or something like that. And the other one is Skepta. He's a rapper. He's a rapper from the UK.
Why did you laugh?
I just have like the biggest crush on him. So
okay, I sensed something there, but I wasn't gonna.
And he's vegan. So
what?
Yeah.
Okay, so help me understand why you haven't reached out and invited either of these individuals into your restaurant.
There's a couple things. So being in the music industry and working at a concert venue where you're cooking for artists, celebrities every single night, we were kind of taught very early on, don't be a fangirl. Don't go up asking for autographs. Like, keep it very professional.
Fair.
So, and I have to tell my staff this. They're coming to see us. We're the celebrities tonight.
Right.
We're not going to their concert to see them. They're coming to us. So we are the celebrities. If they want a picture with us, they can do that. But we're not going to make their experience uncomfortable. And it's not a cocky mindset. It's confidence. Like, you know, we want to show people we are professionals. You know, we treat everyone the same. Everyone's a VIP. All of our guests are important to us, no matter if they're on TV or not. But I think that's, you know, something really important for my staff to kind of understand and to be a representation of me as well. Yeah. But I would love to have them if they decided to come.
Yeah. I'm going to unpack that a bit. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
So on one end, there's starstruck, and on the other end, it's, I'd like to invite you to my restaurant. That trajectory is, there's a lot of distance between those two things.
It is, yeah.
And I love that you said, we are the celebrity here.
We are.
So let's say Skepta did come. What dish would you prepare?
In LA or New York?
Ooh, your choice. And then the follow-up is, how much would you charge? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Full price.
Yeah, full price.
I don't like giving celebrities discounts. Other people do. I don't.
Oh, I was just kidding.
Oh, okay. I know people that do that, like comp their whole meals because it's a celebrity. I'm just like, out of all the people, they can afford it. Please stop comping these celebrities, please. Anyways, so if I was in
word,
if I was in New York, I would definitely make him my fried lasagna. Ooh. I mean, honestly, I would make the whole menu for him, but if I'd have to choose one dish, it would be the fried lasagna.
That sounds incredible.
It's the one.
Okay, you already know my follow-up question to the fried lasagna. What beverage would you pair that with?
Ooh, so I would pair that with... We have a drink named after me. It's called the Miss Greens. It's an off-menu like drink, but it's a non-alcoholic cucumber forward green juice situation. Okay. In New York, the law is that if you are within 200 feet of a school or a church, you're not allowed to serve hard alcohol, but you can still do wine and beer. We are beside a school and a church. So all of our cocktails are wine-based cocktails, which is pretty cool and unique because I don't even think people know this. But I would serve him the Miss Greens and a southern fried lasagna.
Oh, that sounds so delicious.
Some cornbread on the side.
Oh, okay. A couple of silly but very important questions. Favorite chef movie of all time or TV show? Because there's a lot of good ones.
Chef movie?
Or TV show. You know, we stream now.
People always ask me about culinary TV, and
Okay.
I am not a person that pays attention to it.
Okay.
So I don't really have a wide range to choose from.
So you've never seen The Bear?
I was going to say I really like The Bear.
Okay.
But I'm not a person that has watched like Top Chef or Gordon Ramsay and stuff like that. I'm starting to watch it now because I'm like, oh, like I actually have peers on these shows, or like, you know, I have friends that are like judging or competing. I'm like, oh, okay, so now I'll watch. I have a reason. So I would definitely say The Bear. I really enjoyed the show for the representation of our industry, and it really didn't sugarcoat our industry. And I think the average consumer doesn't really understand what it's like to be a chef.
I was blown away and learned a lot. Wasn't sure that how much of it was story and how much of it was real. So to hear you lean into how accurate it was kind of freaks me out. That is intense.
A lot of moments in that show were kind of triggering or just like funny to see it from this perspective. I'm like, oh yeah, there's this scene where all the tickets were like going crazy. I think
Just
it was
spitting out of the machine.
Yeah, that's real.
Oh my God.
I've been that person. You just kind of like you can either stop and have like a mini like freak out or something, or like go in a walk in or cry or tap in. Like for chefs in kitchens, when things like that happen, we call it like the rush, or quote unquote, we're in the weeds. So when that is happening, you have a lot of chefs that kind of like, it's like a boost of adrenaline. It's like, great. Like now I get to really cook. I can see how fast I can cook. I can
game
really
time.
Like, it's game time. You know, the kitchen's not for everyone, unfortunately.
I love this so much. Dead or alive? Don't you love it when people start questions like that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Dead or alive, if you could sit down and break bread and enjoy a meal with someone, who would it be and what would you be looking to take from that experience?
I don't know why, but for some reason, when I hear that question, dead or alive, my brain just automatically goes to Tupac. I don't know why. I really don't know why.
Well, I think that that's your answer.
But it's not. I have nothing to ask him.
Maybe you just want to watch him eat.
Maybe, but
Is that weird? Maybe
Tupac's great. I have no interest in really sharing a meal with him. But maybe Edna Lewis. She is a very loved, well-known, cherished culinary tastemaker that a lot of us look up to. I would just want to know like what her experience was as a chef during the era that she began cooking. Both of us being from Virginia, both of us cooking in New York, both of us having like celebrated restaurants in New York. I would really love to understand her journey, how she got from point A to point B, who inspired her. You know, I would love to know what she ate after work, or like what, you know,
her comfort foods.
I would love to know so much more about her, and not just what I read about her, like some of the recipes that she left behind for us. I would like to really have like a little microscope into her life and to get a better understanding.
That's beautiful. I think that just leans into the way that you approach your gifts and your talents. I remember reading in a post or an article about you that if it was your last night on Earth, you would definitely be eating in New York.
Oh, absolutely.
What would you be eating?
I have one day to eat or one meal to eat.
Well,
it's a lot.
Okay, well, let's go with one meal.
One meal.
Yes. You got to make it count.
Oof.
What are you getting?
Would I go there or the sister restaurant? Okay. I would go to...
I love watching your mind work, by the way. This is great.
Thank you. I would go to Chinese Tuxedo. I would go with a lot of friends, and I would do family style. And it's kind of in the cut. It doesn't even seem like a restaurant would be there. And then you just walk in, like a couple bar seats, and then you go downstairs and there's like an entire, like, it almost looks like a little mini ballroom. Like,
oh, wow.
It's so beautiful. And they have like big tables and booths if you have like a bunch of friends, and they have like the special table where you can put all the food on there and then turn it.
The lazy Susan, or yes.
But in terms of the vegan, vegetarian options, there was like a lot of mushrooms, a lot of rices. I find with a lot of Asian cuisine that it's kind of easy to do vegetarian, vegan forward dishes there. Just
They're
because
so full of flavor and not relying on meat, right?
Full of flavor, and I like the incorporation of the vegetables into their traditional dishes. And I think that's something special about New York. A lot of the restaurants there, they take that time to actually develop great vegan restaurants and eateries, whereas, other cities or places I travel in the world, it's almost like no effort, or just like fake food, soy
like an afterthought,
fake meat, a salad here, a side there. I'm like, I enjoy vegan, vegetarian cuisine, but I don't want a salad, or I don't want something made in a lab. Like, let's keep it creative and fun here. Aren't we all chefs? But I really just enjoyed the experience they created. And I don't think that you get less of an experience because you opted for the vegan vegetarian menu, whereas, a lot of places that happens.
You said, aren't we all chefs? I don't know.
Well, speaking to the actual chefs.
Well, right. And that's what I mean. Like, the definition of culinary master and chef, I think there may be varying definitions.
There is. I think a lot of times people may confuse like chef with cook.
Yes. Thank you.
All chefs are cooks, but not all cooks are chefs. So a chef is usually a person that can lead, train, guide cooks. Not to say that these cooks don't have the same level of experience or like access to information or training, things of that nature. But cooks are really good at kind of just like repetition when it comes to recipes and cooking and things of that nature. I think a lot of cooks aspire to be chefs, but depending on like the restaurant or what the situation setup is, there may be a lot of things that are hindering them from doing that. Whether it's, someone's already in that position, working towards a promotion, or like, they're just there to kind of like understand a certain cuisine or certain like skill sets within that restaurant before taking it to the next level. Usually chefs have surpassed a lot of that already, and they have their groove and they're sticking with that.
Yeah.
You have chefs known for cooking certain cuisines and things of that nature.
They're executing to a vision.
Exactly. And I think cooks are still trying to figure that out.
That's very creative language, right? In maybe a corporate structure or standard business structure, that would be the difference between a tactical manager and then a visionary leader.
Okay.
Right? Is that fair?
I think so.
Okay. All right. Last question.
Oh, already.
Last question.
Wow. Okay.
Was this fun and fast?
That was fast.
You better do this again with me. You better.
I would love to.
Okay. But the last question is probably the most important one. All those times when you've been given that look, that who does she think she is look, all those times where you haven't been able to capture the moment and answer it yourself and set the world straight, this is that opportunity. Ooh. Who do you think you are, or who do you know you are, is probably the better question.
I know I am Chef Shenarri Greens Freeman. And I also know that I move with intention. I move with community, and I move with purpose. I am simply here to share the knowledge that I absorb along the way. And, I'm also here to continue to open doors for other people that look like me, the younger generation, the next generation of culinary experts and creatives. And I'm going to keep being Shenarri. That's all I can really do.
And we're so, so glad you are who you are.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here with me and with all of us on Who Does She Think She Is? She is Shenarri Greens Freeman.
Yes, I am.
Shenarri, thank you so much for joining me on Who Does She Think She Is, a show about audacious financial journeys for tremendous Black women. My name is Mele Miller, and I too am an audacious leader and on a mission to change money culture in America, starting with me.